Okay, me and my fan are going to try to make this quick. Um, you may have heard, I watch a lot of nutrition channels on YouTube. I have for years. I've had food issues, food allergies, and some epiphanies along the way, this kind of thing. So I'm always interested when people are talking about uh, diet changes that they're making that has improved their life somewhat or whatever. Um, I'm sure you've ran into someone or you've seen a video where someone talks about low carbs. When they mean low carbs, they're eating high protein or no carbs. Some are on a no carb diet. You've probably heard of the paleo. You've probably heard the newer is the carnivore diet, which is getting a lot of airtime on YouTube. Um, and the carnivore diet is where they just eat meat only, no vegetables, no fruit, nothing else. Meat. 3 meals a day, 3 meals of meat. And they're all people just feeling great and all this kind of stuff. Um, most people, now I'm saying most, you may not be one of them, but most people are allergic to things like wheat and grains. Wheat's a real bad one, but wheats and grains. And the sad thing is most people do not know it because you've been eating bread since you were a little kid. You've never known what it's like not to have wheat going on in your system. That's my story. Um, I've had this happened both myself, my sister, some friends of mine, people that quit meat or meat. I'm sorry, people that quit wheat or wheat and dairy, and a week or two later have an entirely brand new existence. Symptoms gone, pain's gone, this kind of thing. Wheat is really hard on the system, especially if you are allergic to it. But unless you go off of it or go to an allergy doctor that tests you for it, you really don't know. So you could be having a wheat allergy right now and it's just the norm. Same thing with dairy. Dairy is really hard in your system. I love milk and all those things, but I gave that up. It's been about 2 years now. No dairy. But if you have a wheat allergy or a grain allergy or you get off of dairy, most people feel great. They get off the stuff, it's like, wow, I feel really good. I can breathe now. My sinuses are clear. My knee pains, all this kind of stuff. A lot of their issues, their symptoms are relieved. They feel really good. Now, go back to these high protein diets, these meat diets like the carnivore. Yes, the bulk of their meal is going to be meat and high forms of protein, meat, fish, chicken, like this. But those diets require that there is no milk on the menu, nor are there any grains. Okay? So you got someone that's coming to you saying, hey, I'm only eating meat, and I feel wonderful. I'm cured. I'm healed. When the reality is, what's curing them, healing them, making them feel better is the fact that they got off the grains and the milk, the dairy. Okay? That's the big improvement in their life. Okay? Meat is not some kind of a healing thing. It's just excessive protein. Meat is not a, they're talking about the good cholesterols and all this kind of thing. And there's different categories of meat, but meat is not what's doing them. Meat, when you eat meat, you feel full, so you may not eat as much the rest of the day. You'll tend to snack less, and so that's probably a win right there. But for these people to think that, well, just eating meat is turning their life around, I think is just I don't think they're lying. I don't think they're being disingenuous, but I just don't think they know what they're talking about because I've been on these diets before. And the big win, the big improvement is getting off the grains, getting off the dairy. The meat just keeps you full, okay? So you could go follow one of these diets, but just don't load up on the meat stuff. Get off the grain, get off the dairy, and see if you have an improving lifestyle, whatever. Another thing too, I think that these diets haven't been around that long, and to consume this much meat or high protein in the long term. I think it's dialysis is in your future. the kidneys, the some of the issues on some of your organs, just the taxing, the extra burden upon these organs when you're trying to do these kinds of diets. Years ago, some of you may not even be born yet. I think it was in the 80s. There was the Atkins diet, and they basically promoted a high protein, low carb or no carb diet for people that were obese, okay, morbidly obese, and it took weight off of them, okay. A high protein diet can take weight off of you, okay, but these people were under the supervision of a doctor, okay, and a dietitian, and still many of them died. It killed them. So I think a lot of these diets today are hybrids of the Atkins diet. So really not anything to be played with. If you're going to do something like that, I'd be very careful. Do your research. But they're fads right now. This big thing about all this protein and meat, and I've been around this stuff a long time, and there's nothing. I have cattle. We raise livestock, horses and all this kind of stuff. And we're always concerned, if you pull an animal off pasture and you have to supplement them, you're buying feed and putting it in front of them, we're always concerned about how much protein we feed these animals. Because if we overdo it, we kill them. I know, I've done this. And so to think that humans could just inhale all the protein they want, which is they've been feeding us these ideas for a long time, I really think is dangerous. That's my opinion. So I mean, I hear people at work I can't eat that. I'm not eating any carbs. I'm no longer eating any carbs. I'm like, okay, whatever. And the same token, these same groups, they put carbs, stay away from carbs because they turn into sugar and sugar kills. Okay. Well, yeah, if you're just talking about grains, I would say, okay, I'll agree with you on that. But they're also talking about fruit and vegetables. They're telling you not to eat any fruit or vegetables. Somebody tells you to stay away from fruit or vegetables, that they're dangerous, just slap the teeth out of their head. Don't listen any further. There was nothing wrong with fruit and vegetables. Oh, but I'm a diabetic. You're a diabetic because of your other issues. Look at your protein. Okay, don't blame fruit for that. But anyhow, you see an all-meat diet and it looks good. These people are losing weight and they got their six-pack abs or whatever. Hey, good for them, but get off the dairy, get off the bad carbs, get off the dairy, get off the wheats and grains and all this stuff. Start inhaling a lot of fruit and vegetables and then see if your life improves. But don't go focusing on a bunch of meat. That's, take it from a guy who makes this stuff for a living. This is, I eat very, very, I'm on the same diet I've been for almost 2 years now. I eat meat maybe every 10 days, probably chicken. I don't touch red meat almost at all. I can't remember the last time I had red meat. I eat predominantly fruit, mostly fruit, some vegetables. Rice and beans is about my biggest vice. Okay, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink sodas. Water is the only thing I drink, period. I did fall off the wagon around Christmas time. I'll make a video about that down the road. It's pretty interesting. And for me, I feel a lot better. Off the wheat, off the dairy, big improvement. But I just didn't jump on the meat wagon. So that's my big warning there. All these high protein diets, there's not a long-term good future in that, in my opinion. Dialysis. Anyhow, get off the wheat, get off the dairy, see how things go. But don't fool around with this all meat stuff. Love you, God bless.